Yeah, swooped in.
Super shy.
Hi guys, this is Umesh,
I'm Aslan.
and today we are reviewing and talking about our favourite albums.
Yeah, top 5 of 2023.
2023. Let's start with my current, at this time, my 5th favourite album of last year. It was Fountain Baby by Amari, yeah, the Ghanaian American, should we say Afrobeats, R&B, fusion artist. Yeah, she did bits. That album, you know the emoji where it's like not melted, the hot emoji, where it's like, this album.
It's very erotic.
It was luxury, it was sexy, it was vibes, it was mysterious. It's giving me like Underwater, it's giving me like Atlantis vibes. For those of you who've seen like Black Panther 2, you know the sound motifs they use for like Atlantis, quite like airy, light, and mysterious. It encapsulates that for me.
Okay. I get what you mean, it's very ethereal.
Exactly. And it's vibes, it's wild, it's raw, it's like untamed like energy. And Amari comes with this confidence. This quite innovative way of giving us Afrobeats fusion.
Yeah, she describes her own sound as futuristic Afro pop. So yeah, she really takes the sound to interesting places.
Yeah, some of the best like intro songs, like period, on like any album that came out in 2023. It was like with Angels in Tibet. Oh, such a banging song, such a banging way to start like an album.
Yeah, it has that sort of harp and string. Intro before it.
Which is what gives me the whole kind of Atlantis feel of it.
Fountain.
Oh, another favourite song would be like Co-Star. I think that's just a banging pop song from the album. And I think one of my favourite, if not the favourite song from the album is Wasted Eyes. Wasted fucking Eyes, bro. The gunshots on the bass before the switch on. Perfect. It makes you want to skank face. It's again raw, it's confident, it knows what it wants to do.
It's actually crazy what she's done on that song in particular, actually, because the intro, it's like a Japanese folk song sample. Then she got someone to come in and play the melody on a West African koro, which is like a string instrument.
Okay.
And then she made her change the lyrics so it matched the vibe of the song, like play, play, play.
Okay.
But in Japanese. And that's all just like a tiny thing at the start and at the end.
Yeah. And
then
the whole middle is something completely different.
And then you have like the Wasted Eyes and the chorus, like this gladiatic fight, all these trumpets and stuff. It's that sort of level of detail and care. And it's still just like a banger dance song. And again, the boom, 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 boom.
If you get a chance, if you haven't already, check out Fountain Baby by Amari.
Fountain Baby. It's me now. My number 5 is technically not an album. But it's an EP, and it's 12 minutes long. It's the New Jeans EP, the Get Up EP by New Jeans K-pop idol group, New Jeans.
Is this the one with the Powerpuff Girl? Title cover, okay.
This came out of nowhere for me, and like it's basically alternative R&B plus sort of drum and bass, has a bit of Jersey club. It's just tight, refreshing, kind of borrows from those early 2000s R&B vibes as well, but kind of has more futuristic and modern production to keep it more sort of up to date. And it's just banger after banger after banger. You have Super Shy, you have ETA. It's just, it's cute, it's danceable. Yeah, I just really enjoyed it, and it's just easy to replay. Like I'm in the car back 12 minutes. Yeah, it's just very accessible, very digestible. But yeah, that's my number 5.
Good stuff. But for me, my number 4 album, my favourite album of last year was Falling or Flying by Georgia Smith. Georgia Smith, back with a full project after like 5 years. She released like an EP in between. And I think she's come back, not really creating a niche for herself, but just doing more of the same. So she goes in for like the jazzy tracks, but she's also got like the R&B flex in there. She's got a dance, like house vibe in there too. And then she's got this like random like punk rock kind of cherry bomb kind of vibe. Even on the Amari album, there was that punk rock like kind of. Some of my favorite tracks were like She Feels, a very chill kind of soulful track with a kind of nice jazzy kind of instrumental. But Try Me, which is just a banging dance track. And then you've got Feelings with J Hus, which I think is one of my favorite tracks from the album. There's a line about flying to Morocco in there, and we were in Morocco, and it came out, and we were like, oh my god, vibes, we can relate.
She does everything on this album.
Exactly. The criticism it got for that, a lot of people saying she's had 5 years to define herself as sound, and she still hasn't done it. Georgia Smith. And I was like, you can see it as a negative, but for me, that's not where she is.
Yeah.
She's still young, she's got a lot of creative energy. What's stopping her from trying stuff?
So my number 4 is Caroline Polachek, Desire, I Want to Turn Into You. Caroline Polachek, she is sort of, I guess like art pop. She's been around for a while. She used to be in that chairlift. On this album, I feel like she really creates this vision, this space that's sort of passionate, sensual. The production, it's really varied. You have bagpipes, you have vocoder stuff that gives you like Imogen Heap vibes. It's really forward thinking. There's obviously strings. My favorite tracks would be sort of like the flamenco themed Sunset, the track with the Children's Choir Billions, and it's a great closer. And I think what I really like about this album is Caroline Polachek really has great vocal runs. I'm not going to try and replicate it because I've
go check out for yourselves.
I've tried and I've failed many times. But she goes on this vocal run where she's not even saying anything. She's just going through melodies and they're just earworm hooks. I think for me, definitely sort of art pop album. Feels cohesive despite all these different genres, not all these sounds that she explores. And I think that's partly just because of her unique style of sort of singing, and also just sort of the vibe of passion and desire that she sort of puts into this album. Very satisfying a listen, I highly recommend.
Number three. So my number 3 is Phantom of the Afters by Kojak.
And that?
Yeah.
I don't know.
Phantom of the Afters. I think I sent it to you. I'm pretty sure I sent it to you. So Kojak is an Irish rapper. See? It's on camera. It's got such a fun opening. And it's a brilliant combination of humor and emotion and just like slick bars and like that Irish kind of like gift of the god kind of rapping where it's just, he can just be speaking normally and like the rhythm, the melody, it's there. And he's very young, he's very creative, but there are some very hard-hitting emotional kind of concepts he hits in this album where it's just like, who am I? Where is my place in this world? And coming from a disadvantaged background, like leaving his family, coming here, apologizing to some trouble he might have caused when he was younger, but then also trying to run away from owning it as well. And he does this through humorous tracks, tracks such as like Larry Bird or Fat Ronaldo. But he has this,
I do remember that.
Yeah. And he fills this void for me of Kenny, of Mac Miller, of like, I want to say H and RD from like the UK scene. And I think the ending is so heartfelt. It's like it's an older Irish song and he fades it really well into his track and he merges both concepts in a very cohesive way. And it's a fun, I can just play it in my car and be a vibe. So
nice. That was number 3.
That's on number 3.
My number 3 is an album we've spoken about. It's Scaring the Hose. Mafia and Danny Brown.
So you don't need to talk about it?
I don't need to talk about it in detail because we've got a review. But I'll just quickly sum it up. This album is... Sometimes I listen to this album and I think maybe I don't need my coffee. I still have my coffee because frankly I'm addicted to it. But and it tastes good. It tastes so good. But it's like, you know in Batman, The Dark Knight, where they go, what happens when an unstoppable force meets an immovable object? This is what happens when an unstoppable force just meets another unstoppable force. It's
utter chaos. Beautiful chaos.
It's unhinged. I kind of felt it difficult to connect to a lot of mainstream rap this year, so I'm happy that these guys came around with something from the underground. It's just really creative, really playful, doesn't take itself too seriously, pretty hype. So definitely worth a listen.
I do resonate with that point of like, there was a lot of rap albums last year that came out which just did not stick for me, hit the spot. So my number 2 spot, my favourite album of 2023, Group Therapy
Ah, the group therapy
Yeah, the
album.
group therapy album with a long name.
Oh yeah.
I was mature for
my age, but I was still just a child, something like that.
Yeah, this is a sonic archive or collection of feelings of a group of people reclaiming, I guess, their innocence from their childhood.
Yeah.
Like they're going through, and it is like a group therapy session, they're going through a lot of emotions, a lot of things that happened to them when they were younger, and addressing them and highlighting trauma, essentially, but through such an eclectic source of sounds. You name a genre, it is in this album. And they have a way of fusing rock and rap and pure house, drum and bass.
Yeah, and there's a lot of pop as well.
A lot of pop.
There's like a guitar ballad.
Just a guitar ballad. I bet everyone can find something in this album that they can resonate with, whether it's sonically or thematically.
It reminded me a lot of Brockhampton as well.
I was literally about to say that. I was going to be like, this fills the void that Brockhampton left when they split up. It gives me confidence for a new era of that kind of alternative creativity, sound, that new collective movement. And you know, this is just the start for them. Some standout tracks is like How I'm Feeling, which is a dance number, Hot, which is like straight up, like, for me, a drum
Is that the Jersey Club one?
Yeah, and it's got so many levels to it because it goes like it goes super like heavy drum bass and then it's like that Jersey kind of sound and then like so back into it and it's a vibe. And also Still Alive, which is I put sad face emoji because it cuts deep, but that's what I want from an album. If I want to get real, it can get real. So
scratches many itches.
Scratches many itches. I like that. What's your number two?
Number two is Lahai by Sampha.
Hey, okay.
I'm going to read out how Sampha introduced this album when he sort of announced it. And I'll take that as like his mission statement. So he said, my grandfather's name, my middle name, fever dreams, continuums, dancing, generations, syncopation, bridges, grief, motherlands, love, spirit, fear, flesh, flight.
Okay.
And I think he does all of that. I think he does all of that. I think compared to, it's been a while, it's been a minute. My guy's been...
He's been doing bits.
He's been doing bits and features.
Kanye, Drake, Solange, a lot of features.
But in terms of last album, it was Process. And compared to Process, which was a lot about, I guess, grief, about his mother's passing, and it was a lot more busy, I feel. This is a lot more spacey, reflective, introspective, very ethereal. The thing I actually really like about this album is the drum beats, actually, because they're really intricate and complex and understated, but they make these textures and grooves that go quite nicely with the empty space.
They're sparse, but they're quite pinpoint on where they're placed. They're there with a purpose.
An album actually did remind me a lot of is my previous album of the year, Mr. Morale and Big Steppers by Kendrick. Both thematically, it's a lot of exploration, a lot of sort of like, I guess, self-therapy, a lot of contemplation about existentialism, about my purpose, about my effect on other people.
Why are we doing what we do?
I think both on fatherhood as well. I think Sampha, if we're talking about a comparison of the themes, is a lot nicer to himself as a conclusion. It's a lot brighter in his outlook. He shows himself a lot more self-compassion than Kendrick does, but also has all these like pianos with all these like off-kilter beats. I felt like a connection, especially with Sampha's on the Kendrick album as well. So I just wonder if there was any sort of, but maybe they're just both going through a crisis at the same time. But obviously his voice is gorgeous. It's very gentle, but sort of raspy at the same time.
Some of because he can go, he's got he's got a range, right? But he can hit like the proper high stuff, and his falsetto as well. He just brings it back to earth and makes it a bit raspy, and it's like, vibes.
There's also things like Can't Go Back, with this mantra of having to go forward and just go.
Can't go back.
I'm just there in the background, just like, can't go back. And just about having to move slowly forward instead. There's beautiful evidence where he goes, what's my daughter is all the evidence I need for my purpose. What I need, what I exist for. You're the evidence.
Yeah.
You're my evidence. Which I think was really cute.
Beautiful.
Beautiful album. Cohesive listen. Worth the 6th year. But that was my number 2.
Nice.
Yeah. Your number 1?
My number 1.
Yeah.
Lahai.
Hey.
By Sampha. Honestly, when you said it, I was like, did you look at my notes?
As in, I figured it'd be your number 1.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't want to reiterate a lot of stuff you said. So I'm going to try to say some different stuff.
Yeah.
This album is coming from a place from after a 6-year wait. He's gone through a lot in the 6 years. A lot of grief he's gone through. A lot of trying to find himself. I think he's lost both of his parents.
Oh, okay, yeah.
So process was after
his mom.
I think he just is.
I think his dad's a cancer or something like that.
Yeah, as well. So he's coming out of a very dark place. And this album, it encapsulates that feeling of ascension, of like, okay, I've grieved, I've accepted, I'm looking forward to the future, but what does that entail? What am I working towards? Who am I? What is the point of existing? And for that, lyrics like how high can a bird fly and stuff like that, what is the point of creating for creating's sake? What am I working towards? And his daughter is the center of all of this, right?
Yeah.
His new sense of purpose. Questions like why we do what we do is not to bring joy to at least one person. Why do it at all? He does this through creating spacey, kind of sometimes or a lot of the time ethereal tracks, and this where it makes it portrays this image of him being above, but not from a point of like I'm looking down on you, of like come and join me. Like I've reached a space where I've accepted everything. I want you guys to join me here too. It's not that hard. Okay, go through these thinking patterns. It's tracks like Spirit 2.0, tracks like Satellite Business. Like, they're all Satellite Business is brilliant because it's a normal track, but then it's quite grounded as a track. But then it has these like techie, spacey, like
big loop sounds. Yeah.
Which is brilliant. This album is a pleasure to listen to. You could put it on in the car when you're home trying to focus. It's meditation, and it could be a background listen. But if you wanted to go in deeper, there are pockets again. They're boundless. The whole thing is a dissertation ready to be, unpicked and untethered and probed. So yeah, celebration of transition to this new space. I'm looking forward to his next piece of work whenever it comes. And if it's not for a while, that's fine. I've got this to enjoy until then.
Okay, my number 1 is Fountain Baby by Amare.
Yay, sir.
It was Sound of the Summer, but then it just kept going.
Yeah.
Autumn, winter.
Yeah. Summer don't stop.
We've always talked about a lot of stuff I like about it. But yeah, she's raised in both Accra, Ghana and Atlanta, America. It's a fusion of so many sounds, like you said. She has this really unique voice. It's like this soprano that's really brittle, but also hushed as well. Yeah. Well, I first heard about her with the Sad Girls Love Money remix with Carlucci's.
Okay.
And I remember being out and hearing it and just being like, and get my phone, let me Shazam.
Vibes.
Let me Shazam as I dance because I want to stop. And I think Carlucci's is actually quite similar in the sense of like, they're both groovy but also have this pillowy sound. Yeah. But Amara did this album.
She came with purpose, she came with confidence.
Yeah, it just feels so cohesive. It's the most fun I've had with an album in a while. So definitely we'll still be playing this till next summer.
Hey. Favorite album 2023?